Star Wars fans, there's a place in the Star Wars galaxy that exists outside of space and time called the World Between Worlds. We saw it in the animated show Star Wars Rebels, and now it is highly likely that we will see it in the Ahsoka Show later this year. Now, understanding the World Between Worlds is no easy task, so follow along very closely. What's up guys, it's Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars, and today we're going over everything we know about the World Between Worlds. Today's video is our understanding on how the World Between Worlds actually works, where it exists, how you can get to it, pretty much everything that we know right now about the World Between Worlds. If you're excited to talk about this crazy thing known as the World Between Worlds, don't forget to smash that like button. Okay, so the World Between Worlds was first introduced in the final season of Star Wars Rebels. Ezra Bridger is the first and only person so far in the Star Wars canon that we have seen go into the World Between Worlds. Now, this doesn't mean that other people haven't entered this place, but judging by how hard it is for Ezra to get in, seems unlikely that anybody else has been here before. And when the World Between Worlds is first described by Palpatine in Star Wars Rebels, he says it is a conduit between the living and the dead. And of course, Palpatine wants control over all of that power, but Ezra Bridger has different plans. And like I said before, entering the World Between Worlds is not an easy thing to do. However, Ezra, with the help of his friends and some Lothwolves, make it to the entrance, which is at the Jedi Temple on Lothal. Now, it is never clarified if this is the only entrance to the World Between Worlds, or whether or not there's an entrance at every Jedi Temple, or if there's just entrances all over the galaxy. But at the Jedi Temple on Lothal, there is a painting of the Mortis gods, the Father, the Son, and the Daughter. The Son being the living embodiment of the dark side, the Daughter being the living embodiment of the light, and the Father being the balance between them. There are also Lothwolves in this painting, and Ezra uses the Force to move the painting. The Lothwolves lead Ezra off to the side where a portal is opened. And when Ezra first enters this portal is when things get crazy. And I know what you're thinking, it's already crazy, but I'm just easing you in. Ezra enters the World Between Worlds, and the first voice that he hears is Master Yoda's, and then Obi-Wan's, and then Qui-Gon Jinn's, then Ahsoka's, and then finally his master Kanan's. Now, all of these people are from the past, so most people think that the World Between Worlds is just a gateway to past events. However, as Ezra Bridger starts to walk around, he hears Kylo Ren and Rey, who both at this time are not even born yet. So not only is the World Between Worlds a gateway to the past, but also a gateway to the future. Do you think this means the World Between Worlds can be used to change future events? Ezra keeps walking and comes across a portal with Morai on top of it. Morai is the owl that follows Ahsoka around before she dies. It's also a symbol of the daughter, like we said before, the living embodiment of the light side. Ezra's very confused, doesn't know where he is as the portal opens up and shows Ahsoka fighting Vader on Malachor, which happened 2 years before this. It has been over 2 years since Ahsoka has died at this point. Ezra has thought that Ahsoka Tano has been dead for 2 years. We see some of the battle between Vader and Ahsoka, and before Vader strikes down Ahsoka, Ezra pulls her into the World Between Worlds. And Ahsoka is alive and brought back into the Star Wars galaxy. After being presumably dead for 2 years, not existing in the galaxy for 2 whole years, Ahsoka comes back. So can anybody be brought back to life? No. Maybe. Shortly after Ezra has realized what he's done, saved Ahsoka after she's been dead for 2 whole years, he realizes that he could try to save Kanan. Kanan Jarrus was Ezra Bridger's master who died just episodes before this one. As Ahsoka and Ezra arrive at a portal where they can see Kanan sacrificing himself as he did, Ahsoka explains to Ezra that he can't save Kanan here because he's sacrificing his life to save Ezra, Sabine, and Hera. And if Ezra took Kanan out of the timeline at this point, they would all die. So what does this all mean? Can people who don't sacrifice themselves be saved by the World Between Worlds? Or is Ahsoka Tano just the exception and the one and only person who can be saved by the world between worlds? What's crazy about this is this would mean that most of the main characters that we love in Star Wars could not be saved. Most of the main characters in Star Wars make sacrifices to save other people. Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke Skywalker, Leia Organa. And those are just a few of many other heroes who sacrifice their lives for the greater good. So as Ezra comes to the realization that he can't save Kanan, the portal quickly switches to Sheev Palpatine. Like I said earlier, Palpatine wants this power. He wants to be able to get into the world between worlds. That is why Ezra Bridger is so important to Palpatine. He uses some Sith magic to try to grab Ahsoka and Ezra because as of right now, Ezra Bridger is the only character who knows how to enter the world between worlds. Ezra and Ahsoka get split up, going through separate portals, Ahsoka ending up back on Malachor but in present day, and Ezra ending up back on Lothal where he closes the portal for good. The Jedi Temple on Lothal is gone. But what does this all mean for the Ahsoka show that comes out later this year? Now, the leaks and rumors we've talked about before are that Ahsoka is going into the world between worlds to fight a young Anakin Skywalker on Mustafar. Also, she's going to go to a different time and try to kill Thrawn before he escapes with Ezra. So with what we know about the world between worlds, how is Ahsoka going to get into the world between worlds when the Jedi Temple on Lothal is gone? Also, do you think Ahsoka Tano is going to save somebody through the world between worlds like Ezra did to her? And is it possible that Ahsoka is not only going back in time to fight Anakin and fight Thrawn, but also going into the future and maybe telling Rey to rise? If you want to hear more about my theory on how Ahsoka used the world between worlds to communicate to Rey during the Rise of Skywalker, my full take on this is in this video, Is Ahsoka Dead during the sequels? So as of right now, that is all we know about the world between worlds. I know it's not much, and it makes your head want to explode. However, I believe the Ahsoka show that comes out later this year is going to answer a lot of these questions. Like, can anybody be saved by the world between worlds? And how is Ahsoka going to get into the world between worlds when the Jedi Temple on Lothal is gone? Tell me in the comments what you think about all of this. Smash like if you like this video, hit subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video. We go live on this channel every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So don't miss out on anything Star Wars by smashing that subscribe button, and may the Force be with you always.